I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and for you. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue, clouds of white, the bright blessed day and the dark sacred night. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of people gone by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. I hear babies cry, I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than I'll ever know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow are so pretty in the sky, and also on the faces of people gone by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. And I hear babies cry, I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than I'll ever know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Hey, we're here. Raise your hand if you're here. Are you guys ready to sing with me? Here we go. I'll just sing a line and you sing it right back at me. I cannot do all the good that the world needs, but the world needs all the good that I can do. Ain't it the truth? Once more. I cannot do all the good that the world needs, but the world needs all the good that I can do. I cannot do all the good that the world needs, but the world needs all the good that I can do. I cannot do all the good that the world needs, but the world needs all the good that I can do. Here we go. I cannot do all the good that the world needs, but the world needs all the good that I can do. I cannot do all the good that the world needs, the world needs all the good that I can do. I cannot do all the good that the world needs, but the world needs all the good that I can do. A cappella. I cannot do all the good that the world needs, but the world needs all the good that I can do. All right.
I love it. Thank you for the brave people that actually sit on the inside circle. Thank you for being here and sitting in this circle at all. I love it. And you know, yesterday I understood that it was snowing outside and raining and a little ugly. Maybe it's so nice everyone has to go out today. This is fun. I love it. What we want you to know is that everybody is welcome here. Nobody can walk in that door that isn't a part of our group already, and we are excited to have everyone here. So welcome to Unity on the Avenue. I am Reverend Doris Hoskins, but you get me to answer quicker if you just call me Doris. And I am delighted that you guys are here this morning. Thanks for being here. I invite you to join with me on Unity's statement of faith. There is only one power and one presence in the universe and in my life. God the good, omnipotent.
Surely the presence of God is in this place. I can feel the mighty power and the grace. I can hear the brush of angels' wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of God is in this place.
Lean back and relax and rest in this peaceful moment, in this wonderful spring morning where all of the leaves and Mother Earth's beautiful trees are springing forth to enjoy another season. And we too can join Mother Earth and spring forth and get ready to bloom and blossom and heal. Today we're going to talk about healing. Healing is happening right now, and we can affirm God's healing love is at work in my mind, body, and spirit. And say that silently with me. God's healing work and love is at work in my mind, body, and spirit. Remind yourself that you are much more than a physical being. Remember, you are spirit. Your perfect wholeness is there. You can settle into awareness of God's healing activity taking place within you from the top of your head to the bottom of your feet. You can send healing thoughts to bless whatever hurts and whatever needs healing. Bless your relationships. Bless the world. Bless the beautiful grass that's waiting for you to mow it. Bless the beautiful leaves that are coming to fruition on all of our trees. Let intuition guide you. Follow Spirit's loving voice. Give thanks as divine mind allows you and shows you to your highest good. Healing is happening. And it is spring, and we are glad. And so it is, and so it shall be. Amen.
The people of the Hopi Nation have an exquisite way of describing how they interact with the earth. And I always love to read the way they express themselves about how their inner relationship with the earth makes them stronger and grateful. My favorite Hopi expression is, "We are the ones that we've been waiting for." So when it comes to the earth, I believe that we are the ones that we've been waiting for. Say that with me. We are the ones that we've been waiting for. Okay, now let's sing it. We are the ones that we've been waiting for. Yeah, we are the ones that we've been waiting for. We are the ones that we've been waiting for. We are the ones that we've been waiting for. We are the mothers who breathe with the Mother Earth. We are the fathers blessed with a gentle strength. The sisters and brothers respected hand in hand. The sons and the daughters who walk upon this sacred land. And we are the ones that we've been waiting for. Yeah, we are the ones that we've been waiting for. We are the healers who hear the voice of truth. We are the elders whose wisdom guides our youth. They sit searchers and seekers with wings spread to the sun. Shapers and builders whose work for peace is never done. And we are the ones that we've been waiting for. We are the ones that we've been waiting for. We're givers of mercy, believers in grace, singers of great beauty, keepers of the faith. We are the sailors who've come back through the storm. We are the dreamers resting in God's arms. The dancers and lovers who move beneath the stars. The masters and teachers whose visions remind us who we are. And we are the ones that we've been waiting for. We are the ones that we've been waiting for right now. We are the ones that we've been waiting for right here. We are the ones that we've been waiting for.
What's that little egg thing that you used to shake on that song? What's that? Okay, fine. Having been doing church with Robert since I started being a minister in 1995, when we both had different color hair, I've seen him do this song lots of ways, and I think it's one of the most important concepts that we can honestly hold on to. You know, for years it's like, quote, the Jews were waiting for the Messiah, and always we seem to be waiting for this person, this miraculous person that's going to come and save us. And take a deep breath, because you are that person. And each one of us is called in different ways to do different things. So for the month of April, we've had a series called Circle Up to Care for Our Earth. And last week we had some lovely presentations from the EarthCare spirit groups. Let's see. Ellen's here. Penny's here. Donalyn's here. Really? Are you here? No. And Mark is here. Mark did one. So you can check with those. She's downstairs. So there's the downstairs church today, and there's the upstairs church. It's about evenly tied, I think. So anyway, we're here. And if you wanted to listen to their presentations, they also have handouts on the back table that, you know, when it comes to ways that each of us can make a difference, there's the list of all your Congress people where you can write letters and, you know, some other suggestions that are back there for you. So it was Monday when we actually celebrated Earth Day, and Monday was also Passover, and that synchronicity is special and a speciality of God or the universe, however you would like to have that filled in, because there's a deep meaning behind Passover, which is honoring the Israelites' liberation, and liberation for all of us, for our earth. Rabbi Herschel reminds us that the ultimate concerns of the Jew is not personal salvation, but rather universal redemption. And if you ponder that for a moment, you understand that as we come together, as we circle up to care for our earth, we are the ones that can make this happen. Monday was also the kickoff for the week of National Volunteer Work. National Volunteer Week. And we have, you know, all of you regulars in this room volunteered to serve this church. You know, each of these chairs that doesn't have somebody in it right this minute, all those folks make this church happen. This is one of the most wonderful churches I've ever known in terms of everyone is involved, everyone helps. We created a nursery. Derek helped paint the nursery. Mark helped paint the nursery. Scott helped paint the nursery. So we all do various things that allow us to sustain this community, which is important to all of us. You know, collectively, each of us is called to be a superhero. And that feels like a silly statement. It feels like a silly statement if I'm applying it to myself. And yet, when we each answer our own individual calls, collectively, we save the world. So I'm curious if the name Lois Gibbs means anything to anybody. Anybody ever hear of Lois Gibbs? I have another question for you. Have any of you ever heard of Love Canal? And what was Love Canal, Donalyn? You don't remember, you just have heard the name. Well, you have to have some gray in your hair to remember, because 35 years ago, so some of you weren't old enough to know what was happening 35 years ago, but some of you are. And 35 years ago, I'm guessing that all of you have heard of Niagara Falls. Have you ever been to Niagara Falls? A couple of you have been. Cool. 35 years ago, in the village of Niagara Falls, there was a canal that was one of the most polluted places on the face of the earth. It was a dumping ground for toxic chemicals. There are a lot of chemical companies in that area, and they dumped into Love Canal. And then someone in their infinite wisdom leveled the land and built a housing development and an elementary school there. And after about 5 years, many of those houses had either had miscarriages, had children born with birth defects, had people dying of cancer. And Lois Gibbs was a young housewife. Lois and I are about the same age. She had toddlers, babies. And the whole place was terrified because they didn't understand what was wrong. The chemical companies hadn't talked about the fact that they had used it as a dumping ground. And Lois Gibbs, and in her sort of middle 20s, was elected president of the Homeowners Association. She was simply a housewife and a mom who was called to save a community. She transformed herself from a homemaker to a hellraiser, who actually had President Jimmy Carter come to that place and speak. And after years of struggling and fighting with the people, eventually all the families were moved out, and it was once again bulldozed and, quote, planted to grass. It came to my attention because of a New York Times post that I saw this past week. And I'm actually going to read you a quote from the New York Times. In a remarkable step towards environmental protection, the Environmental Protection Agency, the EPA, took decisive steps last Friday. So that's within this last week. Last Friday to address the dangers of two forever chemicals, PFOAs and PFOSs, by designating these compounds as hazardous under the Superfund law, which is what Lois Gibbs helped get instituted. The EPA hopes to speed up cleanup efforts and ensure that industries responsible for contamination face the cost of rehabilitation. So from a spiritual point of view, fighting doesn't always work. But ignoring a problem absolutely never works. And so transforming a young housewife into an environmental people, they did all sorts of tests on the ground. They tallied and learned how to properly scientifically measure how many illnesses there were in this housing development. They did all this stuff that technically, back in the 80s, we had barely emerged from just being housewives. And so people didn't listen to them for a long time. We never know how when what we do becomes important not just for ourselves, but for the whole world. In recognizing hazardous substance, the EPA moved to address forever chemicals. Now they're doing cleanup and accountability. So if you're DuPont, if you're one of the other Dow chemical, one of the chemical companies, and if you have dumped this all happened since I've been born, so if you've dumped chemicals, it's your job to pay to clean them up. And cleaning them up involves removing dirt clear down into the earth and putting it in containers and burying it in, far away. So the EPA's actions are consistent with recommendations from the National Academy of Science. So we're finally, 35 years after the case, after the first discovery that this was going on, it's changing. Now, what are you prepared to fight for today that won't be changed for 35 years? 35 years from now, most of us probably will not be walking around on this planet. And yet, it goes with a quote about we plant trees that will never set in their shade. We are the ancestors who are creating the world that our children and grandchildren will live in. Is there life after doom? Many of us long for new ways of thinking, becoming and belonging in these turbulent times. From ecological to economic injustice, the healing of the world begins with each of us, and our own healing has to be our primary goal. Knowing that each of the 12 powers that Unity teaches are our innate gifts. We didn't do a thing to inherit the gifts of strength, courage, love, imagination. But they're within each and every one of us. Each of us has agency. It's interesting that that's not a word that I heard used in this way most of my life, and all of a sudden, the word is up all the time. We have control. We have agency. First of all, over our own lives, and then second of all, over our environment. Just our own environment. We have agency. And when we come together in groups, we can figure it out. Ellen has an answer that I don't have. Lisa has an answer that Ellen and I don't have. Wanda has answers that we haven't even thought of. But when we work together and when we talk about it, her wisdom inspires my wisdom, inspires Donalyn's answer. It all comes together when we are willing to work together, when we are willing to be a community. Within us, we all have a yearning to be connected. We're meant to be together to figure it out. And our job is to evolve our internal as much as we evolve our external. It's easy for me to say, Lisa, this is how you should change. We tend to know that about each other all the time. Mark, if you would just do this, it would be perfect. As opposed to putting our little mirrors in front of our own faces and looking at our own issues, and bless your heart, you haven't lived as long as you've lived if you don't have to not have any issues. We all do. And so when we evolve our interior dimensions, we can presence the truth of who we are. That's all we have to do. We don't have to do anything except be our very best selves. And that best self is a divine child of God, of the universe, of your higher power. Plug that in however you want. When the village responds, and that's the title of this, Village Talk, Village Response. When the village responds, we will always have the answers that we need when we need them. It was Ford, the Ford Motor Company, that developed a just-in-time philosophy that made everyone scurry around so we didn't have to stock up inventory forever. When we need the answers, they will be there for us when we are a village responding to the needs of our community. That can be the needs of the New Thought community. It can be the needs of Park Hill. It can be the needs of Denver or Colorado or the world. We don't have to do anything beyond live to the fullest of our own potential. When we're ready to hear the answers, they appear. And where do they appear, you might ask? You know, I'd like to have them skywritten with a plane in the air. I have personally found that they appear maybe on a billboard, maybe on a song. Maybe you turn on the radio and all of a sudden that triggers, you know, whatever is being said in those moments. When the insight is yours, our opportunity is to simply answer. We need to get over ourselves and our whine. The whine being, I don't want to do that. I would like to share with you, some of you have heard this, some of you haven't. But when I first applied for ministerial school in 1992, the first year I applied, I was turned down. It was a bit of a shock to my system. Arrogant little person that I am, I assumed that anything I was offering to do would want me right away. And at the same time, I didn't really want to be a minister. I was raised Southern Baptist. And my concept of minister did not gel with my view of living. I had left Southern Baptist to go and sin, and I did a fine job of that. So I wasn't accepted, and part of me was, yes! And part of me was, they just don't know what they're missing. So that whole interview process and being turned down happened in March of 1992. And in April of 1992, my former husband Craig and I went to Florida. We had business partners who had a sailboat down in the Keys, and we were going down to spend a week with them. And when we flew into Miami, and we were driving down, and we stopped at a Chinese restaurant because we like Chinese food. I ate at a Chinese restaurant last night. Anyway, they gave us a fortune cookie. My fortune cookie said, "Depart not from the path which fate has assigned you." I tucked that one in my wallet. And we went on to do our things. And then in August, Craig worked for Alumax, which was a joint venture company between Alumax and another, you don't care, Superior Industries. Anyway, there was meetings in St. Louis, and we lived in Fayetteville, Arkansas at that time, and we drove up to St. Louis for meetings. And one of the meetings, afterwards we went out to dinner in a Chinese restaurant. And lo and behold, for the second time, I got a fortune cookie that said, "Depart not from the path which fate has assigned you." I think I've seen that before. I looked in my wallet, and lo and behold, I had the exact same fortune. Now, I'm assuming most of you have eaten at Chinese restaurants and gotten fortune cookies. I've never seen that kind of a fortune cookie in anyone's thing. So that was August. Then in September, in Fayetteville, Arkansas, at our very own Chinese restaurant, for the third time, I got the fortune, "Depart not from the path which fate has assigned you." When I applied for ministerial school the second time that fall and was accepted, I had those laminated on the back of my student ID. "Depart not from the path which fate has assigned you." I'm guessing you know how easy it would have been to throw away the first one, the second one, and never paid any attention. Left them on the table like you've all left your fortune cookies on the table. I don't know, and by the way, when I was in Highlands Ranch and had started High Country, where Robert sang back in the day, and I was earning a magnificent $100 a week, and I had 2 teenagers, one in college. I was contemplating getting a real job, and I was in a Chinese restaurant right on University and County Line, and for the 4th time, I got the fortune, "Depart not from the path which fate have assigned you." I don't know that the universe is going to send you 4 fortune cookies that are the same. But I know that each and every one of you have had the experience of turning on the radio and the song that's playing gave you a message. You've seen a billboard. You followed a car that had a bumper sticker. All of those are messages just to you, things that touch your own internal awareness. And that's not the time to whine as I did. "I don't want to do that. I don't want to be a minister. Isn't any of my business. It's what I was called to do." So no matter where your answers come from, just know that they're there. There's a scripture that encapsulates that story for me. It comes from Matthew 13, verses 9 through 16. "Whoever has ears, let them hear." The disciples came to Jesus and asked, "Why do you speak to people in parables?" Jesus replied, "Because the knowledge of the secrets of the kingdom of heaven have been given to you, but not to them. Whoever has will be given more, and they will have an abundance. Whoever does not have, even what they have will be taken from them. This is why I speak to them in parables. Though seeing, they don't see. Though hearing, they don't hear or understand. In them is the fulfilling of the prophecy of Isaiah. You will be ever hearing, but never understanding. You will ever be seeing, but never perceiving. For this people's heart has become calloused. They hardly hear with their ears, and they have closed their eyes. Otherwise, they might see with their eyes, they might hear with their ears, they might understand with their hearts, and in turn, I would heal them. Blessed are you, because your eyes have seen and your ears they hear. It's our job to hear and act. We have been called. So the question becomes, in terms of the earth, what's yours to do? As Robert sang the Jana Stanfield song, we can't do all the good that the world needs. It isn't even our job. We can't fix everybody or everything. But we each can do whatever it is we've been called to do. And the fact that the call doesn't make any sense to you, in a sense, isn't any of your business. Lois Gibbs didn't know that she had to work to change something that would really take 35 years to come into manifestation. She didn't know when she called the White House repeatedly and was, of course, blown off until she actually got Jimmy Carter to come and create an act. We don't always get to see the extent of our impact. We just do what's ours to do. We just get up, show up, and take a step. That's all we have to do. It's our job to hear and act. You know, it's interesting to me that in Revealing Word, Charles Fillmore, co-founder of Unity's book that he left for us that gives us a definition of everything metaphysically. Charles Fillmore says, the earth represents our consciousness of our physical body. How you take care of your body, how do you take care of your earth? Do you see the connection? Life is a mystery that we just get to participate in. Our prayer chaplains have had some interesting answers to prayer lately. Some of them physical manifestations, some of them healing. You know, we have a prayer box in the back. You want to leave a prayer request? It would be their pleasure, my pleasure, to pray with you. When Donalyn finishes playing in the dirt, she would be happy to pray. No, Eustane was sitting here. I'm looking at Donalyn, who is also a prayer chaplain, and she would be happy to pray with you, as would Penny, as would, of course, Wanda or I. Do you ever have an urge to kneel and kiss the ground? There's another song that says, I'm standing on holy ground. The Lord is present, and where I am, it's holy. So think of healing yourself. Think of healing the earth, because God's in the earth. God's in the trees. God's in me. God's in you. The invitation is extended to everybody. Those of us with gray hair, those of you with unlined faces. Those of you with stiff joints, those of you with supple muscles, tall, short, bigger bodied, smaller bodied, slow, quick, pregnant, dying, alone in your room or on the floor. If we have a body, then movement is your birthright. And if your body can no longer move, then we'll find a way to move in energy with you. We're all fellow travelers on the spaceship Earth. When words fail, the body speaks. So with positive expectation, we welcome the highest and best outcomes. Through our own honest inquiry, we can determine whether we are holding positive expectations. Doom and gloom, positive expectations. Unity's third principle: thoughts held in mind produce after their kind. What kind of thoughts are we holding? Positive thoughts: this is possible, we can do it. Negative thoughts: oh, I don't know if we're going to survive this. Maybe the earth will just fade away. Maybe it will collide with an asteroid. It won't matter. Doom and gloom, positive thoughts. We seek deeper understandings of ourselves as spiritual beings. We are stretching towards the light and warmth of divine understanding. Many years ago, some of you may have read Marianne Williamson's book, A Return to Love. She has an oft-quoted quote from that for years people kept attributing to Nelson Mandela. But it's in her book, written before. Our deepest fear is not that we're inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God, and your playing small does not serve the world. The universe helps me with my talks. And what showed up in my feed this week was this. I have no idea who she is. And I can tell you that this is an alphabet book for adults. H is for hope. Climate change, from A to Z, by Elizabeth Colbert. Do you live in hope? Or do you live in gloom? I invite you to be comfortable and take a breath. Sitting quietly, breathing deeply, we listen for divine wisdom and truth. Truth beyond current appearances. Truth beyond the headlines. Truth beyond sound bites. We rise above unsettling world events. We affirm the truth that we know. The truth that love is present in all circumstances. We see ourselves and others expressing compassion and respect for all. We stand firm in our faith, and we know that the earth and all of its people are at a significant turning point. We hold the vision of lasting peace and harmony. Not just in our country, but throughout the world. Our hearts are filled with appreciation and peace. And we take a deep breath. And we find comfort in the fact that we are only called to do what we're called to do. We sigh when we think of all the good that needs to be done. And yet we simply have to take a deep breath and take a step to do those things that are ours to do. We simply pack a bag and get on an airplane. We simply take a deep breath, get in the car, and go to work. We simply take a deep breath, sit up, and get out of bed in the morning. But we live in a state of listening. And we live in a state of hearing what is shown to us, what is spoken to us, what is offered simply for our ears at this time. None of you have to do Doris's job. And Doris doesn't have to do your job. We are all called in our own ways to do those things that are ours to do. And we stand ready and willing to just say yes. To say that we're grateful for the opportunity to do our own little piece to change the world. Thank you. Thank you. And so it is, and so we let it be. Amen. This is the time where we offer you an opportunity to give to Unity on the Avenue in whatever way is you are called to give. So lots of you are consistent givers. Some of you write checks, some of you put cash, and some of you use a square in the back, and all those are awesome things. And some of you just volunteer. Some of us have teddy bears. So I invite you to join in our offertory affirmation. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. The lady whose memorial service I did yesterday right here for her family said, "Living is giving." You can go there.
I am a light, I am a light, I am a light in this world. I am a light, I am a light, I am a light in this world. And I shine, and I shine, and I shine so bright. And I shine, and I shine, and I shine so
All right, we have children we can bless today. If they would like to come into the middle of the circle, we'll give you a blessing wherever you want to be in the middle. You can be up here by me. Perfect. I'd like to have you. Yeah, come on up. Then turn around and just look at all these people who want to bless you. So together, you are loved, special, and important. We see you and bless the divine beings that you are. Absolutely.
And your teddy bear, too.
And your teddy bear, too. And, Kathy, it's nice to see you. And a fire truck, too? Okay. So, together, let's say our prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. I am that light. The love of God enfolds us. I am that love. The power of God protects us. I am that power. The presence of God watches over us. I am that presence. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Yay!
I cannot do